Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we're coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport, and going to stay in the mid-Michigan area for right now. Ben Bakken, good friend and Senior Vice President for the Lansing Market, Director of TriStar Trust Bank. And Ben, it's always good to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. It's good to see you today. Good to see you always, but good to see you today.
Yeah, well, listen, you were in East Lansing, now in the Stadium District. Talk a little bit about that move because it's been a good one for you, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it has. And that was important to me. I joined TriStar about 5.5 years ago, Chris, and our organization, as you know, we're Michigan based. We have offices in Saginaw, Midland, Frankenmuth, and Lansing. We've always described our Lansing office, but our office was in East Lansing. We were up there kind of on Bankers Row on Coolidge up toward the MSU Federal Credit Union building. Great being in East Lansing. I have a lot of clients in the East Lansing market. But if we were the Lansing branch of TriStar, I wanted to be in Lansing. And so that was important to me from the time I started that we were in Lansing. And so it was something that we looked at, that I was, our good friends over at Martin Commercial Properties, kept an eye for us on office space that was available. But it was something we didn't have to do. Then, of course, there was a pandemic, and then, remote work, and what does that mean for space? But then actually what happened is our building owner sold our space to a dentist. And so then we had to make a move. Our lease was up. So sometimes the best situation is when a decision gets made for you. And the landing here at the Stadium District, right across from the Lugnuts ballpark, right in the heart of Lansing, but also with convenient parking, being part of our good friend Pat Gillespie's property here, absolutely could not have worked out better.
It's interesting because sometimes the finance world is a little like pulling teeth, so I can see the confusion. Hey, as a matter of fact, let's do an explanation because TriStar Bank is not the one that has the drive up, make a deposit, make a withdrawal. What does TriStar Bank do?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for asking that. And, we've been in this market for about 14 years now, but that's still a very misunderstood thing about TriStar Trust Bank. Are you a bank? Are you not a bank? What are you? We are a Michigan chartered bank, and we're regulated by the state of Michigan and DFIS just like any other Michigan charter bank. But we are one of a handful, less than 10, non-lending, non-depository banks. So what's that? So we, as I say, think about the days, Chris, of bank and trust, this bank and trust, bank and trust. Consider us just the and trust part of a bank and trust. So we partner with other financial institutions in this region, both banks and credit unions for our clients and their needs, whether it be depository or lending or credit card services, anything else. But what we do at the core of it is just the trust, investment management, financial planning side of the banking. So one of the things that sets us apart in that regard is that while we are at the core a wealth management firm, we manage money, we do financial planning. The fact that we are a trust bank, Chris, is a huge differentiator for us because it gives us those fiduciary powers to be able to serve as a successor trustee in a trust or a trustee, special needs trust or other type of irrevocable vehicle. So for our clients, we take care of their wealth during their lifetime, and we're also there at a time when they need us to serve in that successor capacity. So that's one of the many things that sets us apart.
Awesome. So actually, not only do banks who participate with you pick up your expertise, but it's probably more cost effective for them too.
Yeah, very much. It's that idea of we're not everything to everybody. We do what we do, and we do it really well. And then we partner with other financial institutions that do what they do really well. And it works in synergy very well.
So you were on hand for the MBN Speakers Series this week.
That's great.
We had Tom Kelly from Automation Alley. What did you think of that?
I thought it was wonderful, Chris. I think, the things that he was talking about, for those that aren't familiar in terms of kind of manufacturing where it was and manufacturing where it's going in this state, at times sounded, pretty fascinating to think about, pretty out there. But you know what I thought about, again, he brought this up too, when talking about the different, manufacturing revolutions that we've experienced in our planet, all the way back to, the steam engine and then the, internal combustion engine. And Chris, imagine if you and I were working in a manufacturing facility where we just developed the internal combustion engine, where manufacturing was a loud, dirty, dangerous job, and you were to describe what it looks like right now going through the Delta plant or the LGR plant, that probably would also sound like science fiction then. And here we are today.
No,
And
you're
so
right.
in terms of like where we've come, and I had to remind myself of that with some of the unique concepts that he was thinking about. But I've always said here, and it's a point of pride, obviously, for me, as you know, I'm born and raised in Lansing, Chris, and the state of Michigan. We're good at making stuff here. We're good at making stuff in this state and in this region. And, historically, it's been one thing, but we make lots of stuff and we do it really well. We want to make sure that we remain on that cutting edge moving forward.
Ben, we've got about 30 seconds left. So we're not going to get to you had shared at that meeting some really crucial stuff about the economy. And I've always been an advocate. If anybody looks at the stock market to find out how the economy is doing, they are just, So we're going to have you back on at a later date.
That'd be great.
I want you to share some of that information. It's really valuable to everybody. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining us. Ben Bakken, Senior Vice President, Lansing Market Director for TriStar Trust Bank. Thanks so much, buddy, for the good you do in this community as well.
Appreciate you as well, Chris. Thanks so much.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.